Snow Brown and the Seven Amigos, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about Disney's new live action that everybody's talking about because of the recent images that came out, kind of showcasing exactly what's going on behind the scenes in the production process for this absolutely god-awful movie that's about to grace our presence. Now, with that being said, Disney did try to come out and say that the pictures for Snow Brown and the Seven Amigos that was recently leaked was actually fake. They were trying to say it was not real. They were trying to say it was not part of their production set. They were trying to say everything was made up. But apparently, just now, they recently came out and admitted that all the photos that we saw that was circulating throughout the internet is in fact real. They have admitted it is real. It is actually part of the production set. It is actually part of the behind the scenes. And ultimately, this is the product you can expect coming out from the new live action movie. So we're going to get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. And consider subscribing because we're on our way to 25,000 subscribers. So from Bounding Into Comics, it says the Walt Disney Company admits that Snow White, in quotation, Snow White, because again, it's not really Snow White, photos are real after initially claiming that they were fake and not from our production. Now, I am pretty surprised that Disney would actually admit that they were real after trying to say that they were fake. Normally, Disney would double down and say, no, it's fake. It's not part of anything. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Just wait till you go see the movie to find out the truth. And then you end up finding out it was actually true. But that it's surprising that Disney actually did that. But again, I think that they knew that they kind of had to. Like, their backs were against the wall, and they essentially had no choice. It says the Walt Disney Company admitted that the leaked Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs photos are indeed from the Walt Disney Company's production of the upcoming film starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, despite initially claiming that they were actually fake. The set photos were originally reported on by the Daily Mail on Friday and showed 7 individuals supposedly playing the film's dwarves, despite none of them looking anything like the dwarves from the original 1937 animated film. Now, here's the funniest thing about this entire movie, okay? None of them are dwarves, okay? The only one who is a dwarf is the one in the front, and that's it. None of these people are dwarves. These are stand-ins. These are, oh my God, I don't even know how you... This man in the back is 6 foot plus tall easily. How are you making these guys play the dwarves? This doesn't make any sense. Now, of course, this is Peter Dinklage's fault because when this movie was first announced, they were actually going to use 7 dwarven people to play the dwarves in the movie. But because Peter Dinklage wanted to throw his ass out there and make some stupid comment, Disney ended up going in the other direction as to not somehow offend dwarven people by not hiring them. It's the weirdest decision. It's like you don't want to be offensive to dwarf people, but then you don't want to hire them as to not be offensive, which is inherently offensive in the first place. So Peter Dinklage, all he's trying to do is maintain his status quo by making sure he's one of the very few dwarven people who are hired in Hollywood. He didn't want any new blood going in there. He didn't want any new faces going in there. Otherwise, that potentially messes with his money when people find out that he's not that great of an actor, and there's plenty of other dwarven people who can fill his spot. But that's neither here nor there. So it says alongside the dwarves, dwarves, photos of doubles for the film star Rachel Zegler and Andrew Burnap were also captured in their costume. Zegler's Snow White looks more like Little Red Riding Hood than Snow White, which we did say last Saturday on Saturday Night Hypnosis, every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, don't miss it. She definitely looks like more like Little Red Riding Hood than Snow White. I feel like the costumes are just so cheap and lazy as expected with Disney. Disney is not spending nowhere near the amount of time or nowhere near the amount of money that they used to on overall costume design. Like, costume design is definitely one of those particular avenues that has taken such a big hit in modern budget making. Like, you could tell right off the bat. Rings of Power is a great example of that. It says, following the leak, a Disney spokesman informed the Daily Beast the photos are fake and not from our production. We are currently trying to have the Daily Mail issue a correction. However, the Daily Mail would update their story, noting that the article has been amended since initial publication to correctly identify the actress portraying Snow White as an extra who stood in for the post-production photography. Disney confirmed that stand-ins were used for both Rachel Zegler and Andrew Burnap in these images. We are happy to clarify this point. Following the Daily Mail's clarification, a Disney spokesman then told The Independent that the photos were indeed from the Snow White production. The spokesman said the images that ran in the Daily Mail are not official film photos. These shows stand-ins for some talent and do not feature Rachel Zegler or Andrew Burnap. These leaked set photos appear to confirm comments made by Rachel Zegler about the upcoming film. During the Walt Disney Company's D23 presentation for the film, Zegler said the film would have a modern edge. Now, you all know know exactly what modern edge means, okay? Modern edge means that we need to make as many people dark skinned as possible. That's what modern edge means, okay? Not only that, modern edge means you also got to throw in some form of identity politics, some form of like leftist talking point that's always going to be thrown in there. And that's just what it is. Like, these companies are trying to push certain ideologies and certain mindsets, and they're going to do it with their entertainment, as they've told us time and time again that they're going to. It says, when asked to clarify these comments, she told Variety, "I mean that it's no longer 1937 and we absolutely wrote a Snow White." Sure you did. Sure you did. It's definitely not a Snow Brown. It's Snow White 100%. Even though in the movie, it literally says skin white as snow. I don't know how you're going to explain that one. You're probably going to leave that line out most likely because you're going to have a lot of explaining to do otherwise if you were to keep that line in. It says Gal Gadot then interjected saying she's not going to be saved by the prince. Zegler then confirmed she's not going to be saved by the prince and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. This sounds like a feminist nightmare, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens every time they try to remake a movie from Disney's past that has to do with a female lead. It's the same thing that happened with Little Mermaid, where the prince did not save her, where she really didn't care overall about the prince. She was just trying to be a strong feminist boss. Snow White, or Snow Brown, I should say, is going to be the same thing with her 7 amigos, because they are not 7 dwarves anymore. It might be 6 amigos and 1 dwarf, it looks like, from the pictures, but it's crazy, man. Like, what they're doing with these movies and live action remakes, they're terrible. Like, they know that they're terrible, and that's why they're making this whole thing about race, because it allows them to shield themselves from the criticism that they know is coming their way for these movies. These movies never stand the test of time. They're never going to be as good as the originals. They're never going to be anywhere close, and people are going to forget about them after it comes out. It's happened time and time again. Is anybody talking about Peter Pan? Anybody at all? Anybody talking about Peter Pan? Is anybody talking about Little Mermaid anymore? Is all these little black kids who finally got to see themselves, are they talking about Little Mermaid? No, absolutely not. They're not talking about Little Mermaid. It never came up in a conversation, and it never will, because these movies are not meant for that. As much as they want to pretend like it is, it's not. It says, and so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in, Zegler concluded. Oh, to see yourself. Oh my God, you get to see yourself. You get to see yourself. Which, by the way, Rachel Zegler put out a tweet here that I actually quoted, where she basically said, "Extremely appreciative of the love I feel from those defending me online, but please don't tag me in the nonsensical discourse about my casting. I truly, really don't want to see it, so I leave you with these photos. I hope every child knows that they can be a princess no matter what." Now, here's the funny thing about her posting these photos, okay? She posted photos of herself as a kid, dressed up as the titular characters from Disney's princesses, right? So, if that's the case, if this is Rachel Zegler, then you are telling me that she was able to see herself in these characters, right? Because by her dressing up at these characters, she was able to see herself. She was able to connect with these characters and garner, like, feelings for these characters and enjoy them. So, her entire narrative about kids finally get to see themselves, you already did. You already did in the white Snow White. So why do you think that these other little young brown kids and black kids need to finally see themselves by putting up someone who's dark skinned up as Snow White? I mean, inherently it's stupid, but again, here we are. Like, you are lying through your teeth, and you yourself posted these pictures, which you don't even realize that you destroyed your entire argument by posting these pictures of yourself as these titular characters from Disney's past. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we all know that they are completely full of crap when it comes to this entire narrative. But again, this is from someone who has she, her, hers in her bio. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.